So much for joining with us today. I've got my good friend Daryl Mesina on the line with us. Daryl is one of the group members that we have that is getting his investment career going on. He's a wonderful gentleman that teaches school. He's teaching the youth, which is a great thing to be able to do. He works part-time with Pathways, which is a wonderful group as well for your next steps. Most of you that have not finished college, that need to get a certificate to really learn how to go to the next step. This is a wonderful organization that he's also involved in, that we are big believers in. But today I want to talk a little bit about the bargain finder and about real estate. We want to talk about real estate and how all that works. And so, Daryl, we've got you here, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to show you the bargain finder, and then I'm going to ask you some questions about it. Okay, so this is
sounds good.
So is this the deal that you own now, or is this a new one that you're looking at?
This is the deal that I'm own now.
Okay, that you're into right now. Okay, so good. So now
Yep.
remember, guys, when we talk about this, there are the 5 F's of business. The 5 F's of business. And what are they? Business number 1 is to find it. You've got to find good deals. Number 2, you need to fund it or control it. What we really want to do is we want to control it. Number 3, we want to fix it. What's wrong with it? Now, it could be the property, it could be the owners, it could be what's going on in the marketplace. It doesn't matter. Your job is to find what the problem is and see if you can fix it. Number 4 is, we're going to do number 4 and number 5 is how we make our money. We're either going to farm it, which means we're going to make money on a monthly basis or yearly basis, or we're going to flip it, which means that we're going to flip it and sell it to someone else. So it doesn't matter if this is real estate. It doesn't matter if this is some kind of product you're selling. You're going to be doing these same 5 steps. Now on Find It, the goal is to find the great deal. And out of 100 of the properties out there for sale, or 100 items out there for sale, 1 to 3 of them fit our criteria. So just know right off the get-go that we're different. We're not going with the herd. We're looking for something a little bit different. So only 1 to 3 out of 100 fit our criteria. And so that's the real key. The real key to long-term investment is finding the great deals. It's not the money. It's not anything else. It's finding the great deals. And even these big operations that I work with that are managing hundreds of millions, billions of dollars worth of assets, it's the same thing. They're looking for those great deals. Fund it or control it. You just need to be able to tie it up and you be able to control it. You need to be able to control the price on it. You need to be able to control it. A lot of the real estate that I didn't actually own. I got the right to be able to buy it. I found a deal that was under market value. We made him an offer and I said, I'll pay you the money, but I can't pay you for 120 days because I'm going to go fix your property. And then I had the right to buy it for a certain price. I also had the right to sell it for a certain price. And that's how I got started. I flipped a lot of properties. Fix it. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with the property? It could be physical. It could be something wrong with the property. You would not believe the properties that we did, that all we did was went in and painted them a neutral color. You paint your kitchens and bathrooms kind of an off yellow, and the rest of the house kind of a beige or a white. And people will walk in there and they will say, hey, I want to paint the kitchen green. Great. After they buy it, they can go paint it green. But if they walk in there and it's already green and they don't like green, they don't like the property and they'll walk away from it. So find out what it's wrong and then fix it. We're going to farm it on a monthly basis, or we're going to flip it. Okay, Daryl? Now you've got a property that we want to talk about. So let's go ahead and do that. And so we're going to be using part of the bargain finder. Remember, the bargain finder fits all these same pieces right here. And so you can go to the site, go to the website, Success and Money Foundation. And then after you do that, make sure that you take the time to go to the courses and then go to the download section, and you can print out your own bargain finder. Okay. All right, Daryl, tell me more about this property that you've got.
All right. So the property that I got has 1,076 square foot.
Okay, so on the
1,076 square foot.
on the bargain finder itself, the first section right up at the top is how we're going to keep track of things. The name is the owner or the agent, how many square meters or square foot it is, and the age, how many bedrooms, how many baths, and then the address. And of course, now the reason that we go through all of this first section is because you look at properties, you're going to go look at 30 properties or 40 properties, you will start to learn value. Until you understand value, everything is worthless. So that's why that's so important. So you found a property here, and what was the square meters of it?
Well, the square foot of it is 1,076.
1,076. How many bedrooms, how many baths?
2 bedrooms and 1 bath.
2 bed, 1 bath.
1 bath.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah, the age of it is roughly around 7 years.
Okay.
Right, and it has a garage, huge garage that can fit, I think, 2 cars, and it has a terrace, or what do you call that? Small area where you can hang out, put some chairs
Okay.
in, and it's still part of the house though.
Okay, good. Have you looked at other properties as well?
Uh, yeah, I think
compare
I
this?
got one here.
To compare this property. So one of the things you want to do is that until you understand value, everything's worthless. And so you want to go out there and look at multiple properties so that you can understand what something's worth. And so that whole first section is that piece right up here. Okay, Daryl, tell me more.
All right. About the property.
Or tell me more about the financing, what the situation was,
Okay.
and what's
All right.
what's the value of the property that you've got?
Well, the value of the property that stands right now is it costs 725,000. That's the value. And I think I can really sell it for 1.4 million. So it's roughly doubled of the value that's in right now.
So when you got this property, if I remember correctly, you got basically a rent to own.
That's true. That's correct.
You get a chance to rent that property out, and in the future, you get a chance to buy it and own it. And so when he first went in there, you locked in the price and said, hey, I want to be able to, this is also something we call a lease with an option. So he had the right to be able to lease that property or to rent that property with an option to buy it at a later date for a specific price. So kind of a rent to own or lease to own. And I think that's how that you put this first deal together. And when he put that deal together, then they locked in the price of 725,000. That is his purchase price. Now you're telling me that it has gone up in value. What has it gone up to?
It's 1.4 million.
And of course, it doesn't matter if it's pesos or dollars or yuan or whatever. It's the percentages that we're interested in. Now, what's interesting is that this thing has gone up about 100%. It's doubled in value. How many years have you been in this property?
I've been here for 5 years.
Okay, so in a 5-year investment, it's gone up 100%. So it's basically gone up 20% a year, which is really kind of crazy. It probably only did a little bit for a while, and then it went up the big hill, like on the roller coaster, and it's gone up in value. But we've taken $1 and turned it into 2, so we'd call that a 10x or a 10x multiplier. Okay, so tell me some more.
All right, and right now I am since we've been here for 5 years, I have the option to buy it for well, for that amount, 725,000 pesos, and then I have the option to sell it to maybe to flip it for double its value.
Okay, so you got the right to be able to buy it because you locked that in 5 years ago.
That's correct.
Double its value, and so now you have to be able to buy it for the 725, and then you can flip it and sell it and make a whole bunch of money and go do it again.
Right. Yeah,
so
that's correct.
So that's really the way that I would be looking at this one. Number 4, number 4, of course, is to farm it, and number 5 would be to flip it. So he's got 2 options here. number 4 and number 5, you know, he could take number 4 is to farm it. He could exercise his option and buy it and own it and then rent it out if you wanted to. In this case, I would flip it, take that money and go reinvest it and do it again and do it again and do it again. Because as you guys get started with your long-term investing, sometimes you're going to need some cash. And so I did a lot of flips where I'd find a good little property, I'd go in there and fix it up. Most of the time I just painted it. I'd mow the lawn, I'd get the grass on the lawn so it would start to look good again. I painted it a neutral color so it didn't, you know, upset anybody. And then I would flip it. And then as I got more and more cash, occasionally when I found a really good deal that I wanted to keep for long term, then I would keep that long term and then I would farm it. One little property that I bought in 1984 was a little 4-unit building that I've talked to you about that I bought that went from 60,000 was the purchase price. And, you know, that one went for 490,000 when I donated it to the foundation. And that took a long time. That was 38 years that we owned it. But, you know, just look at what's happened because of inflation. So that is a pretty good deal that you've got going on. And now, why would the seller do this? Why would he do this deal? I'm going to tell you why I think the seller did this deal, because he bought this property. He bought it for probably less than that. You've been paying him his rent payment every month, which he's been paying his loan with. So every month you've been renting it and sending him money, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And so you've been paying it for him. You've been paying off this property for him. Did you manage it? Have you taken care of it? Have you done the maintenance on it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So this investor found this deal, and he probably found it for I'm just going to say 500. I have no idea what the number is, but let's say that he found it for that. And that's what he bought it for. And then he flipped it to you on a combination of a farm and a flip. He rented it out to you for the last 5 years. You've been making the payments on it. And then after that, we're going to be doing a flip. Okay. So that's just one of the interesting ways that he's done that. So what is your plan to do with this, Daryl? You live in the property right now.
Well, as I am realizing the situation now, the owner of this house is getting a free maintenance from me for 5 years now, and I'm doing everything, and I'm also paying the rent to him. So I think seeing this figure right here, since I have the option to buy it for 725, which roughly around 50% of the 1.4 of the real value of the house, I think flipping it would be more profitable for me, because you know, I can invest the money that I can earn from the money that I get from if I sell this house, because I have to control it right now. Yeah, I think I can double my earnings by finding more properties using the money that I earn from flipping this property. So I think that's the thing that I am learning right now.
So there's two sides of every coin, everybody. Actually, there's three sides. There's the head side, the tail side, and there's the outside of the coin. Okay. There's actually three sides to a coin. I didn't figure that out until Robert Kiyosaki told me that. And so you just learned a strategy that someone else did, and you learned from that because you were the recipient of it. Now, can you go do the same strategy that he did?
Definitely. I think
Absolutely. How many
yes.
times did he do it? He found a good property. He tied it up. He bought it. He's rented it to you. He never looks at the property. He never fixes the toilet. He doesn't do anything. You automatically send him the money, and that money's paying down his loan. So over the last 5 years, any loans he had on it is being paid down. And also you've locked in a higher price to be able to make a profit on it. So that's why it's so important that you go through these different classes. And one of the things I want you to be able to do is when you go to the Success and Money Foundation, if real estate is something you're interested in, and again, you have to have a place to live. So you go to the courses menu, Then you click on money, or just scroll down and find the money. And there's some wonderful classes in the real estate section. There is the, and Ethan, if you want to take me there, you can go to the first one, which is Mark Harrelson's book called How to Wake Up the Financial Genius Inside of You. He's a wonderful guy. He owned the apartment complex I lived in when I was going to college back in 1978. So you can go through that one, which is the How to Wake Up the Financial Genius Inside You. And then right next to that are the other two ones, which are the Road to Wealth book, as well as the Real Estate Launch. Okay, so both of those are right in there into the courses section. And again, I'll just remind you where they are and what you can do with those. So you go to the courses section. Once you go to the courses section, go to money, and then go to real estate. And then you want to do the Wake Up the Financial Genius. Do the Financial Genius and the Challenge, or Road to Wealth. That's the courses you want to be able to do. So Daryl, thank you so much for being with us on this segment. This is awesome. And again, all of you guys are going to be doing these kind of techniques, and your kids are going to be doing these techniques. So you've got to learn how to do them. And remember, finance is a game and games are fun. Real estate is a game and games are fun. If you treat it like a game, then it can be fun. And every time something weird happens, you go, well, that's interesting. I didn't see that one coming. So make a difference, everybody. Make it happen. Get out, make it happen. And remember that every life is precious, and you and your family are miracles. So be that miracle. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be right back, because we're going to give away a whole bunch of money. Thanks, everybody.